I think there was a little bit of that going on too on that. Maybe it's Motion Detector is the name of the song, and crank up the treble and play almost some like almost flamenco-y sounding strange bass and lots of harmonics. And I'm like, this sounds terrible. But then, you'd run it through your process and it sounded fantastic.
Well,
I don't know how you do that.
but I've always noticed that as soon as we plug you in, whatever tone, like if I'm playing, like I'll plug it in and I'll just like fiddle with the tone for way too long and then start playing. But I've noticed with you, like no matter what the tone is, as soon as it comes up, you're able to get inside the sound and be totally inside it. It's always amazed me. It's really cool.
Well, it's because you create a sandbox of utter freedom. Even if you're giving instructions, the sandbox is so big and there's so many toys to play with that it's like, what's really at stake? I think that's the key, with these projects that you and I have done is that what's at stake and what is wrong with like trying something absolutely insane.
Well, that's the thing.
Thinking
it's playing. It should be play. Like so much music out there is like a rigid format and it has to be this. Like now, I struggle about that a bit with Nashville. There's a thinking of like, what is right and what is wrong in music. And, what I grew up, my experiences with Bill Laswell is like, there are no rules, you do whatever you want. And it's freedom and it's playing. And it's what I think is interesting about music is hearing something that you haven't heard before and being inspired in some way.
I totally agree. I mean, it's like I read about a famous sculptor who has a big piece of marble delivered, and he just walks around looking at the flaws that are inherent in the marble and wondering what kind of shape is going to come, what is suggested, and then he goes after that. It's not like I need a piece of marble because I'm going to carve a horse out of it. It's a piece of marble arrives and then he's like sees a horse in it. And I feel like, on this More Talk About Tonight record, we went to the quarry with the four musicians and mined a bunch of big chunks, and some of them had suggestions within them. And that's the thing. It's you get these players who think with their creative brains, and then you add in, like you just said, that this is play. We're not grading anyone on anything here. And there's wind up with hours and hours of raw material that can be shaped into something that we want it to be. And I always thought it was really funny that I think one of the only things that may have had a suggestion so inherent was that last piece, The Bitter Pills, of the Sidelong trilogy, where it almost sounded like there was a noise in Matt App's hi-hat, a squeak that sounded like it was saying sad, and it just, and Jay Rodriguez heard it and he just came in and put these mournful flute stacks on it.
Yeah.
And it was just it pushed itself that way. We didn't push it that way. The music took the musicians that way. And to me it was just incredible. I remember Jay, I played it for him. He hadn't heard the final construct. He came to sit in with us at the Beacon Theater, and we had a few minutes, and I played like maybe just a rough or something you would put together for him, and he made this motion of like tears, projectile tears coming out of his eyes when he heard it, which told me that it was successful. It was very mournful and respectful, and it is what it is. And I'm sure that we tried all kinds of things on it, but in the end, it's like just stripped down and beautiful, and the use of space and the room that was on those flutes is just, it's a great thing.